What's up, guys? Sean here with BlueRidgeSilverhound. All right, so in this video, we're going to do a quick little, well, I don't know if it's going to be quick. I'm lying through my teeth right now. We're going to do a market update and eventual little bit of news surrounding the duplicate star notes of 2013 that you guys probably should know about, because I'm sure a lot of you have followed me through the process of this whole project that is quite popular today. It's one of the main targets for a lot of people going through actual bank straps of dollar bills, because these things are fast cash money. Whether you're selling them singularly or, excuse me, or if you've successfully found a Fort Worth, Washington, D.C. print match. All right, so right out of the gate, you guys are probably kind of confused, like, what do you mean by Washington, D.C. Fort Worth match? Well, in 2013, the Bureau of Engraving and Printing, also known as the BEP for short, ended up printing a 2013 B series, which is a New York Federal Reserve Bank. All the notes are going to be highlighted with a letter B in this circle right over here. So they had printed at the Washington, D.C. facility a full complete run of these notes. 6 years later, 6 years? No, not quite. Just under 4 years later in 2017, before the series had switched over because of the change in the secretary and treasurer, the Fort Worth print facility, there are two facilities that print our money: Washington, D.C., Bureau of Engraving and Printing, and also the Fort Worth, Texas division, which also prints some of our currency. Again, you guys could go on money.org and you could actually look at the production tables of the notes that are being printed pretty much daily. All right, so there's no shortage of paper money at all. All right. But the Fort Worth facility, approximately 3.75 years later, printed some of the same runs as at Washington, D.C. So, where we're at today is that you could find the same serial number for the 2013 B series. So they're going to be a 2013 series date. They're going to have a prefix letter of B, and then they're all going to be star notes. So they're going to have stars on them. But you could find one of each of the Fort Worth and Washington, D.C. prints with the same serial number. And it was done in error. And this has kind of been the big thing lately in paper money. Individual prices of these notes have skyrocketed just in the last 12 to 18 months. It used to be, at the very beginning of kind of the explosion of this whole project, the notes could have been had for between $10 and $20. Today, they're approximately double that here in 2023, and we're heading into the holidays. Currency is going to be it's going to be used again. People are going to be circulating the coinage and currency. So when we're looking for these notes, you want to make sure that you're paying close attention to the plate numbers, which, if you can see right above my head right here, this is what the plate number is. It's in this micro, macro sized text right here. So you're going to see that this particular note begins with FW. All right, that's a Fort Worth printed note. The next one that we have here are actually a couple of Washington, D.C.'s. Now, here's a little bit of a warning to you folks that are searching through this. It is completely 100% normal to find notes that look as tore up as this for the Washington, D.C. print run, because these had occurred back 10 years ago. And what we do know about the circulation rate of paper money is that they're really realistically only supposed to last for about 24 to 36 months before they're to the point where they need to be destroyed. All right. So through just regular attrition. A lot of the Washington D.C. notes have been ran through a little bit. I'm sure a fair amount of them were destroyed at one point, and that contributes a little bit to the scarcity of this particular Star Note pairing compared to the Fort Worth. And that's why that these particular notes will command a little bit more money on the secondary market. All right. So when we're going to, because obviously you need to check and make sure that you do have one of these duplicate star notes. Sean, where do I find out about this, right? Well, it's all over the internet. It should really be no big surprise, but there is a website called mycurrencycollection.com that can do just that. They have the full, I'm not going to say database of already found notes, but they have the actual serial number ranges that are deemed the duplicate print runs. Then, like, for example, all right, I found this literally yesterday, but it's a Fort Worth 2013 B star. However, it's not a duplicate because it doesn't fall within that range. This one right here starts with the number 129, if you guys can see that. A lot of, actually, all the notes that are in the duplicate star database begin with a 0. All right, but that doesn't mean that every single note that has 7 digits falls under that. So this one right here is just a spender. This one has a 3.2 million star run. We'll actually type this one in. Now I do have just one singular copy of a 2013 B star duplicate, and it's this one right here. I've actually talked about this one in the past. This one is actually already graded by PCGS Banknote, but as you can see, it's got a serial number of 19,000. It's a fancy. I saw it and I paid a lot of money for this. I paid over $100 to own this note right here, which is quite crazy because, you know, at any other given day, I wouldn't even spend that kind of money on a note that just grades out VF25 that has a 3.2 million run. All right. A standard star note, which is this one here that I showed you guys, is worth about $2. And that's it, you know, even in that condition. Now, a much nicer graded note will command a little bit more money. But for the most part, what you're looking for are these gems right here. So we're actually going to type in this number into my currency collection. We're going to type in this one so that way you guys can see the difference here. So when you're on the website, mycurrencycollection.com is the name. Go into Star Note Lookup. And then you're going to go ahead and do all the drop downs here. So we got to go to 2013. We're going to do the serial number as well. So we're going to start out with the non-duplicate star, 12947303. And then you'll use the asterisk as the star. So when you type this, look up your star note, you're going to see that's a 3.2 million run size, which is extraordinarily high. That is really high and very common. But outside of that, it doesn't tell you a whole lot else. Okay, so that's the difference maker here. So since we're already on this page, let's go ahead and type in my other note. 19 and asterisk. So this is the legit duplicate star note, and this is what you're going to see when you put this into the database, is that you have this pop-up that comes up that says how to determine print facility, because it recognizes that this particular note, it was printed at either the Fort Worth, Texas facility or the Washington, D.C. And this one, ladies and gentlemen, was printed at Fort Worth. All right, so it's got that little FW there next to the actual printing plate number. And, you know, that's really all that needs to tell you. It's pretty much a congratulatory, there you go, you got yourself a duplicate star note. You're ready to either sell it or you're ready to find the match for it. Now, there's really no good way to access a database for this. There's a few people that hold the database. that you could reach out to. If anyone's interested and you have some of these notes, I could pair you up with that person. You could just go ahead and comment below here to get the conversation started with that, and I'll share that information for you. But you got to find one first, right, before that database even has any sort of meaning for you. All right. So that's the big idea, is to find these duplicate star notes, and people have been finding them all across the nation, from the East Coast to the West Coast. There were even a few found up in Alaska. I think there was a couple found in Hawaii too. So they're kind of all over the place. All right, they were to this point they were distributed really well. So let's talk a little bit about the secondary market value of these notes. So here are kind of like the highest priced ones. These are actually for already found pairs in the Ziegler's Winograd project, which is the official name of the 2013B duplicate star serial program. And as you can see, these notes, if you find the correct pairing of both the Fort Worth and DC notes with the same serial number, can have some financially ridiculous ramifications. Like, you can make a lot of money if you found the other pair or the other corresponding note to what you have. And you know, these are asking prices, right? So the top like 5 or 6 listings you see here are all, you know, pairings. They're all going to be graded subsequently. PCGS Banknote and PMG both grades them respectively. I know PMG actually puts the duplicate star designation on there. Sorry, my dog's going crazy right now. Pretty cool, very interesting, and very, very liquid in today's market. Now, as far as how much the individual notes sell for, whether you're interested at all at looking for the pair, let's go ahead. There's been a few of the actual pairs that have sold within the last 90 days, and we'll cover that here momentarily. But if we go to ended recently, you could see that the notes as a singular piece sell for between $20 and $30 incredibly easily. And then there are cases where they sell for a lot more than that. Like this one here. This one ended up selling for $50. You know, it does fall within range. There's another one for $28 with shipping, another one for $28. Here's a graded one right here that sold for $62.16. Again, it probably wouldn't make any sense to grade them until you found the matching set, all right, or the match to that note. Then you could send them both together to a grading company, and they'll designate it as the matching pair. So again, incredibly strong sell prices here, unprecedented because these things have doubled virtually in the last like 18 to 24 months. When the community got hold of the project, this one's strange. It's got a hole cut out there, but still managed to sell for $25. Here's a amazing matching serial number pair. This one is not a B series; it's a J. All right, so that one does not count. You could certainly sell them in lots too. Like here's a lot of 11 of them that sold for $250. Now, a little word of caution: if you sell them in lots or bulk, then you're going to accept less money per piece for them. Like in the case of this one, instead of selling it for $25-$30 a piece, they're willing to go down to $21-$22 a piece to sell it as a bulk lot. Now, you may want to do that if maybe you're not incentivized to find the matching note to what you have. So that's another idea there for you. All right. And then here's eventually some of the sold pairs within the last 90 days. Of course, the one big driver to the value of these is actually twofold, right? It's how high the grades are of each note, because it has to be kind of like an average. You know, like let's say if you have one note that grades really high, and maybe it's that Washington, D.C. note that grades really high, that's going to put more value into the pair because the Washington, D.C. notes are older and they're tougher to find in crispy uncirculated grades. So yeah, keep that in mind. But if you have, it doesn't, irrespective to that, if you ended up with a really high graded specimen out of the pair, then that's going to ultimately allow for more money to be asked when it comes time for the sale. The perfect scenario, if you came across a pairing and both notes grayed out crisp uncirculated, you could pretty much ask whatever number you want for that, because there are currently no known pairings where both notes are crisp uncirculated. So something to keep in mind. But outside of that, another thing to also keep in mind that will dictate value is the serial number, because fancy serial numbers has been kind of like this thing that's been that everybody's been looking for in paper money. And the B series duplicate stars are not immune to it. If you found a note like this one here with zeros and nines, and it's a true flipper, and it's the 2013 B, wow, that singular note is going to sell for a whole lot more than, say, if it was not a star note with the same serial number. It'd probably end up selling for maybe $50 to $75. But because this is a star note of that Zigger's Winograd Project 2013 B series duplicate star, can you imagine finding the other note of this same serial number? Whether it's the DC or Fort Worth, they didn't specify which print facility it is on this one, but that's probably going to be easily a $10,000 plus sale on that pairing, and it really won't matter what the grades are for each note. It's just going to be a wildly expensive set. Here's a lot of 10 2013B stars for $300. And I tell you what, the people that buy these, there's only a few people. Actually, the biggest part of the news that I wanted to share with you was the biggest holder in terms of quantity of 2013 B star notes has just officially sold his collection, and the collection goes into the thousands of notes for quite a substantial sum of money. He's been pressured and asked before if whether or not he's interested in selling the collection, and due to some personal reasons, between he and his wife, he has elected to sell his project, his collection, and it still is the largest 2013 B series collection known to man. So quite the huge undertaking, and I can only imagine that was quite an expensive collection that he ended up selling, and it now has a new owner. And then whatever outcome it comes out, whether that person decides to split up the project or continue on with it, or continue on with that collection, remains to be seen. But yeah, this is phenomenal. You can see the prices are all very strong, especially on lots. You do get a little bit of a discount if you bought lots, but not a whole lot, right? The money is still very strong for a lot of these, and it represents a real way to make a lot of money real soon if you're hunting through dollar bills, because there's still apparently a lot of these in circulation, and people are finding them all the time. All right, so that's kind of the good news with that. And then finally, there have also been a few high-profile listings on some of the bigger auction houses like Great Collections. Just in the span of the last 6 months, have sold 3 complete pairings. The first, most recent one ended up selling for $1,050. Both notes grading very fine, so that probably is the lower graded pair known as of right now, but still $1,000 sale still isn't too bad. There was also another pairing with a 65 gem unk for $3,002, as you can see right there. And then finally, the one that sold back in April with a very fine 20 and a gem unk 65 sold for $4,300. So those are some of the more notable sales from this, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you proceed to this. Pretty easy, from A to B to C to Z, finding the note, finding the pairing, and then ultimately coming to a compromise, because we had one pairing recently, chronicled by the live coin Q&A staffing of one of our viewers, that ended up selling their one note to the other interested party, and that's how they were able to get the two notes together. And then that pairing is going to end up getting graded, and then possibly a secondary market sale of some sort. And I hear the buy rates for a note that someone's holding to complete a set, can be pretty pricey, even though it's not reflected on the final actual sale. But if someone's just really interested in making some pretty good money off of the sale of the note, then they'll go ahead and pass it on to the person that's going to be, I don't know, kind of like the big breadwinner of having the duplicate set together. So that is the 2013 Duplicate Star kind of like market update and a little bit of news. The big news is the one big collection that was assembled over the course of the last number of years was finally sold through a private sale. And, I don't have any information on how much that particular collection sold for, nor do I know how many total notes that this gentleman ended up having. And I know him too. He's a really great guy. And due to the nature of the sale, we're going to keep his information private in this one. So that's going to go ahead and wrap things up, guys. Wish you guys the best of luck. This is a very fun project that people can undertake. And it's equally fun to find these notes in circulation too, because, it's more than just finding a dollar bill. It's like, wow, I just found a 20 and a 5 taped together in circulation, because the average sale rate's $25, per note found. But overall, I mean, it's really cool. Glad to see that this is a really nice treasure hunt that is currently still out there today. And I hope you guys find one of these. And if you did find some, let us know in the comments how many you found. Have you known about this before this video? Because I've done a few videos on this project, but it's so not overwhelming is not the word, but it's so it's on a bigger scale that these certainly deserve their own videos. And whether it's me or someone else, you're getting it from me today. Sorry, Mr. Chatty Cathy over here. But that's it, guys. I hope you guys have fun with this project, and I hope you guys find some if you are pursuing them. There are other things to look for when you buy bank straps at the bank. There's a lot of those fancies, there's errors, and, all sorts of great stuff. So, that's going to go ahead and wrap things up for today. Thank you guys again for all of your views and support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Follow me on all the major social media sites. And I'm out of here. I'm going to go out and buy myself some dollar bills so I can find more of these things. All right. Take care. Peace, guys. Love you.